The Mecklenburg County ABC Law Enforcement Division provides a free training program to ABC permitted establishments called the Alcohol Seller and Server Excellence Training to educate employees on the possession and sale of alcohol. This ABC officer training covers underage sales, forms of acceptable identification, and employee age requirements. The Mecklenburg County ABC Board, more than a bottle.
Hi, everyone. It's Madison James with Mix 107.9 and Radio 1, and we're back again with another amazing community mental health series as we partnered with Mecklenburg County Alcoholic Beverage and Control Board. We're going to have some really good discussions. We've been having them. Feel free to go to our website to check out all the discussions that we've had to give you tools to help you with your mental health. Some amazing, I can't say that enough times, community activities that are happening that can really help you do what you need to do. So today we're going to be talking about peer support and recovery. That's very important. And you got to have a toolbox with that when you're helping those that are going through something. And also, if you're going through something, where's your support group? Where are your peers to help you become a better you? So today we've got two amazing organizations that are right here locally. Number one, we're going to introduce Sassafras Tea Company with Miss Asiya Williams, who is the executive director and visionary of the social enterprise Sassafras Tea Company, and Hueman. Did I say that right? Hueman Kind.
Hueman. Yes.
It's a little different. I like how you did that. Hueman Kind LLC. And the second organization, we have Camino. I hope I said that right. With David. Hold on. Villanueva. Did I get it right, David?
Villanueva.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
But I'm going to get it right the rest of the time. We got two amazing people that are chatting with us today. David is their bilingual certified peer support specialist and curriculum trainer. So glad to have you both for our discussion today with Community Mental Health Series, which is sponsored by Mecklenburg County ABC Board. So thank you both for coming. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Well, we'll start with you, Asiya. Thank you for being here today. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do, where we're focusing on peer support and recovery. And sometimes it's not discussed. It's always discussed, like if you have a problem, where you need to go, where your family needs to go. But what about that peer-to-peer support? So can you please share?
Absolutely. Well, first, let me tell you a little bit about our organization. So our main goal is to make provisions and provide support to the marginalized, the disabled, the scarred, and ones just wanting to become better. We promote inclusion and access to programs, fostering self-efficacy, self-sufficiency, personal development, and overall wellness. We have a vision to make people the best versions of themselves possible, however that looks to them, all while providing holistic and culturally based healthcare alternatives. And we love to advocate for the ones who are unable to advocate for themselves. So a little bit about myself. In 2014, I had a late onset of epilepsy. So while I was cooking, I had a seizure for the very first time, and I ended up burning 30% of my body. I was a single mom, and it was very difficult for me, but I was determined to, oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's a safe space. It's okay. Your story is going to help a lot of people. It's okay.
I was determined to rebuild my life out of, after exiting the pharmaceutical industry where I was working due to a lot of stress. It turned my world upside down. And I really realized that the medical industry, behavioral health industry, really was not well equipped to help someone just like myself. So through healing myself, I was able to help found an organization that was responsible for helping others to heal themselves in other ways, as well as providing all types of other services. So through this, my own self-healing, we were able to start what we call Hueman Kind LLC. That organization assists persons with personal care services, community behavioral health services, including therapy, peer support, transportation, wellness services. And we also wanted to help a lower socioeconomic group, just like the one that I was coming from. So we decided to take North Carolina Medicaid and Medicare. But we noticed that there was still some gaps for persons who may be uninsured or underinsured. So through that gap, we decided to create Sassafras Tea Company, also known as Sassafras Tea Co. Sassafras Tea Co. works the same way as Hueman Kind LLC, but it's just a little bit different. We focus on the persons who may be uninsured or underinsured, the ones who don't have access to North Carolina Medicaid, the ones who may not be able to afford those high co-pays and co-insurances and things of that nature. So with all of these things, we noticed that there were still some gaps in the behavioral health community, especially prior to COVID.
Okay.
So, myself and our board of directors, we got together to see exactly what we were able to do to enact some lasting change within the community. So we decided to offer those community behavioral health services, peer support, actually getting out there, utilizing our own lived experiences from our own history, using our own past failures, our own past achievements in recovery to assist others who are looking to do the same thing, who are looking to change their lives in so many other ways. And through these particular services, we also noticed that there were some economic challenges. And you know what? Let me change that word. Instead of saying economic challenges, let's say opportunities. We also noticed that there were some economic opportunities for persons in the recovery space to pay it forward, to be able to support themselves, support their families, and help people just like themselves. Pay it forward as you will. So we decided to also start offering some training programs, like training peer support specialists, showing people the power in their own lived experience. We also started training in something that we call RAP. We'll talk a little bit more about that today, as well as what we call NCI Plus and some other things. But these organizations, this social enterprise, and many of you probably ask, what is a social enterprise? A social enterprise is just a business that has a duty and a responsibility to enact social change. So along with our for-profit entity and our nonprofit entity, we decided to just get together and see how we can really pay it forward, make a difference, and strengthen our communities.
Well, thank you so much for that. I feel like you gave us everything at once. We got a whole conversation, girl. We got.
Oh no! There's more. There's more.
We're gonna get into. Let me switch it over to David. David, tell us about some of the amazing things that you are doing. And I want to say your name, Villanueva. I want to say that I had it written correctly. I changed it up. But tell us what you are doing and what impact you guys are having.
Well, thank you for having us, Madison. It's any opportunity we get to share with the community is definitely an opportunity to try to spread or do some good work. Good to see you, Asiya. And so let me start by introducing myself, right? So I'm David Villanueva. I'm a bilingual peer specialist here at Camino Health Center. And what that means is that I have my own lived experience. And today I'm in recovery from a substance use disorder, and I also live with a mental health diagnosis. And I use that experience to help other people who may be seeking recovery. And Camino is a local nonprofit organization that has been serving the community for nearly 25 years here in Charlotte. Our mission is to equip people to live healthy, hopeful, and productive lives. We do this through our newly renovated health center, which is named Camino Salud. It's located over on Stetson Drive. We offer primary medical care, dental health services, behavioral health, and nutrition. We also have programs known as Arriba and Camino University. We also have an on-site food pantry. And we have the warehouse, which is our on-site thrift store, which is actually voted best in Charlotte by the Charlotte Observer.
Okay.
I do want to make a mention, though, that at Camino Salud, we do offer affordable prices with high quality, high-end services by highly qualified practitioners.
Well, good stuff. And the topic today, and I'll start with you, David. The topic today is about peer support. Now, each of you have had your challenges, which it didn't stop you. You use your challenges to go, you know what, let me help other people. Because sometimes we don't think about it until it impacts us, right? You're like, you know what, other people might need these services. Other people may not have the resources that you all have been able to find to help you get to where you are now. So, David, on your end first, talk about the peer-to-peer, the support that you all are able to provide, and then we'll toss it over to Asiya.
Okay. So to be clear, peer support is just people with shared lived experience offering support, encouragement, understanding to each other, right? A peer specialist is a person who's going to use this lived experience along with their education and maybe other training to assist those seeking recovery. Here at Camino, we do this by instilling hope, helping people with self-determination. We may assist them with system navigation, self-advocacy, helping connect them to the needed services. People may need help finding employment or education opportunities. And we encase that all with whole person care activities.
And Asiya, how do you all do the peer-to-peer? How does it work with you all?
Absolutely. Just to kind of back up what Mr. David says, of course, peer support, it involves individuals with a shared lived experience, and we provide emotional, social, and practical support to others facing similar challenges. These services create a safe, non-judgmental space where clients can connect with someone who understands their struggles, whether it's related to mental health, substance abuse, or other life challenges. Peer support helps build confidence, reduces isolation, it encourages empowerment, and it guides clients towards healthier coping strategies. By fostering this sense of belonging and community, peer support can be an essential tool in improving overall, well-being and creating lasting positive change. There are some things that peer support must be. It must be recovery oriented. It has to be person-centered. It's about you, your star player. It has to be relationship focused. It has to deal with, trauma and things of that nature. Peer support actually has been in the works and been implemented since the early 18th century, the 1700s in France. There was a particular hospital, mental health hospital in France in the early 18th century, where psychiatrists started to see that by hiring persons who have already been through their programs and who've already recovered, how they were much more kind, patient, and able to help the current residents. We saw peer support spark back up again in the 19th century over in England. And then we started seeing, peer support here in the United States, in the 50s and the 60s. So peer support definitely has been something that has been around for a long time. And it's working, The proof is in the pudding, and you might as well call it tapioca.
Well, let me ask you this. This is a question for both of you, okay? So I'll toss it to Asiya first, and I'm going to follow up with you, David, give you time. Now, we're about 5 years removed from COVID, currently right now at the moment. And what are you seeing now when people come in needing the services, and like you just touched on, Asiya, with the peer-to-peer support? For a couple of years there was no peer. There was a lot of isolation going on, people feeling like, who do I talk to? We didn't have that sense of community. We're kind of getting back to it, but some of the things from COVID, we're still keeping some of those things. So now that we're removed from it 5 years, what are you seeing now when that person first comes to you for assistance and help? What are you seeing now with the needs that people are needing from the peer? Like really what particularly type of support are you noticing now?
Well, personally, here in our organization, we're seeing people who have a lot of anxiety and some lacking of trust. There are so many things that happened in COVID, the isolation, not being able to be with your neighbor, not being able to talk to your family. Think about how many of us were actually kind of almost on lockdown. Many people have been hospitalized. Many lives have been lost. So a lot of the things that we're seeing here are people who, instead of finding those natural supports and leaning on one another, they're turning to other things like substance misuse. And please notice that I did say substance misuse, not substance use, because it's the misuse of these particular substances that cause us to have some issues with the way we want to live our lives and the way we want to progress. We've also seen an uptick on the lack of services and the lack of providers. Everyone does not want to do teleservices. We need each other. So, post-COVID, we noticed that there was a lot of people who almost seeming as if they lost the benefit of actually having that support from someone that maybe has been through similar things as you, and maybe not even been through similar things as you, maybe just someone to talk to, someone to spend some time with. So thankfully, COVID is over and we are able to get back into the groove of things, get back together, get back out in the community and do some things together once again.
David, I'm going to, popcorn over to you with that, with the bilingual community that you serve. And I don't know if you saw the difference, like post-COVID, with the isolation and things like that. Can you share what you're seeing now as we're coming out of it and doing a better job reconnecting? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so, I know COVID affected me. It affected our community. All of us have this shared experience of dealing with some stressors in a way that we had never seen before, right? The isolation from COVID, I know it affected me personally, right? To have that lacking, or to be lacking that face-to-face contact, that community. The Latino community tends to be very family-oriented, right? Maybe some of the joke sometimes is, there's always a party at someone's house, right? And with COVID, we did have this separation of the community, right? I myself experienced, and some of the individuals that I work with today continue to express feelings of hopelessness or maybe even indifference to recovery, right? Having had to spend all this time alone. Asiya mentioned we did have a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms that were adopted during this time frame, right? If you follow the data, you see through COVID and in a few, 2020, 21, 22, we saw the increase in overdose deaths, right? This is premature preventable death. And what I'm seeing now, though, is that desire to want to come out of that hopelessness, right? To have a desire for change, to adopt a healthier lifestyle, right? So myself, I've had the opportunity, like I said, I've seen people who, when I first met them, maybe they were being forced to come look for help through family or other circumstances. And then I had the opportunity to witness some of these same individuals go from that feeling of hopelessness to people who are living today happy, productive lives. They are filled with hope, right? As a peer specialist, we touched on some of the work or the focus that we do. And one of the things that I've been able to do, post-COVID is, since now we're around other individuals and I get to have this face-to-face time with peers, is I focus on modeling that recovery-oriented lifestyle, right? I focus on relationship building and that mutual understanding, right? Because I want to remind people that although they may be in a specific place today, right? I try to let them know that there's an alternative, there's options here, right? By modeling again the behavior, I try to be more in line with good health and well-being. I don't try to impose my beliefs or my desires onto these individuals, but I try to tailor the approach, right, to them, and to let them know that we're here just to support them to achieve their goals, right? That it's their, not just their job, but their responsibility to make life more the way they would like it to be. And I constantly remind them, though, that they don't have to do any of this alone.
That's great. I like what you said. I'm gonna take that one. Modeling, right? Sometimes the best thing is to kind of the model behavior that you want to see in others. And you guys, when people are walking in, I know everyone's not coming in with like, can't wait to be here. Sometimes it's like, they got to build that trust from you guys. They got to build, that sense of security and safety that you all have. And by modeling that, if you're comfortable, then it kind of helps other people become a little bit more comfortable. So Asiya, can you share about RAP? Can you give us more information about that? I know you've been waiting to talk on it, girl.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I love RAP. Actually, RAP assisted me with losing 130 pounds and keeping it off.
Awesome.
It assisted me, actually taking control of my behavioral health and physical health, chronic health conditions. So what is RAP? RAP actually stands for Wellness Recovery Action Planning. It was created by Dr. Mary Ellen Copeland, and this teaches individuals how to create a personalized plan for managing their mental health and well-being. It focuses on identifying triggers, early warning signs, and coping strategies to prevent crisis and maintain a balance. People learn to set achievable goals. Notice I didn't just say goals, but achievable goals, develop self-care routines, and build a support system that promotes resiliency and recovery. RAP truly empowers individuals and helps us build and foster that self-awareness and encouraging us to take those proactive steps in maintaining our own personal wellness. There are a few parts of RAP. One of my favorite parts of RAP is what we call our wellness toolbox. And what is a toolbox? It's something that you go to bring tools out. So a little bit about what I keep in my personal wellness toolbox. My personal wellness toolbox is actually my kente cloth exercise bag. Everything that I need to stay well is in that bag. I have my New Balance 860s. I can take those and I can go running at any time I need to because running keeps me calm. I have my over-the-head headphones in there as well. I have a cell phone charger because as long as I have my cell phone charger and my headphones and my running shoes, guess what? I can go running. I can get the energy off. I can become better anytime I need to. You also have crisis plans, okay? Because usually, we don't plan to fail. We usually just fail to plan. So you write a RAP plan when you're well. So when you're unwell, you're able to look back and see exactly what you told yourself you were going to do. We have a daily maintenance plan in your RAP plan. That's things that you need to do every single day to stay well. You have to identify your triggers, know the things that set you off, so you'll know how to avoid them. And guess what? There are some times where we can't avoid those triggers. So we make a plan on what we can do. Maybe it's counting to 10. Maybe it's taking deep breaths. Maybe it's like me, just picking up and going running a couple of miles. We also have a section to notice when things are breaking down. Because sometimes we can avoid these crises if we just take a step back and notice when things are breaking down. There's also parts of your RAP plan that lets you know when it may be more beneficial for someone to actually step in and help you as well. I love the RAP plan. It's a wonderful wellness tool. And it's like I said, it's used to help you get in tune with your star player and become well and stay well. Now, can we always prevent crisis? No. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But that RAP plan helps us plan it out, know what's happening, and have a plan when we don't know what's happening as well. It's a wonderful tool to utilize. Actually, here with the ABC board, Sassafras Tea Co is an ABC board partner. We are a small grant awardee. We're actually providing RAP training to 120 Mecklenburg County residents at no cost to them. So if this seems like something that you'd like to learn more about for yourself or possibly someone in your family, definitely please reach out to us because we would love to share the healing power of RAP with all Mecklenburg County residents as well.
Amazing. I like your plan. The sneaker running can running. If you don't run, you can still walk. Just some type of physical activity is a great toolbox, a tool to have in your toolbox. And David, I know you got your RAP plan. Can you share how that works with you? You already kind of touched on it a little bit when you were talking about, modeling behavior, things that you have to do to make sure you stay in the space that is needed. And I love from both of you, you guys are sharing how vulnerable you are. You're still sharing like, I'm still here. I'm not up here. I'm going through it. I have days just like the people that you all are helping have days. So share how RAP really helps those with recovery, and maybe just like Asiya did, share some of your tools that you have. We're being nosy now in your toolbox.
So you're correct. I do have my own RAP plan that I had the opportunity to work on early on in my recovery. And the beauty of it is that as the years have gone by, I've been able to continually update this plan, right? And because RAP is an individualized plan, it is something that I created for myself, right? And that's the beauty in RAP. I always keep in mind the 5 key concepts of recovery that RAP is circled around, right? Which is hope, education, support, self-advocacy. And the one that no one can provide is that personal responsibility. And that's what always keeps me on my toes, right? RAP is a constant reminder for me that it's my responsibility to take charge of my life and to create life more the way I want it to be. You're asking about my wellness tools, right? I do have a wellness toolbox. And for myself, it's things like taking a walk. I do have a younger son. He's 8 years old, and it's spending quality time with him. Sometimes it's engaging in activity, maybe playing Nintendo. He's a fan of soccer, so I go outside and kick the ball with him. It's also spending some independent time. Going on a walk is something, usually an activity I like to do on my own. I like to meditate, which is something that's part of my own RAP plan. And what that does for me, though, is it helps me keep things fresh. It helps me participate regularly in recovery-oriented activities, which I know are important for my mental health. Because again, although I'm in recovery and I've been so for a few years now, I'm not immune to the stresses of life, right? Asiya touched on how there's a section in there when things are breaking down. So I'm able to notice things in myself, like maybe I'm starting to get really irritable, things that don't normally bother me, I'm feeling really annoyed over. So that's an indicator for me that I could turn to my RAP plan and say, hey, David, now what do you need to do to feel well now? And it could be something as simple as going for a walk. I'm a big movie guy. I love comedies from the 90s, right? So it could be just sitting down.
Era, by the way.
and watching one of these old school films and just to help boost my mood.
So you all both talked about the RAP plan, right? So David, share how the RAP plan has helped you, but share recovery, and I'm going to bounce it back to you, Asiya, but how you all view recovery and what's your definition at Camino of recovery? How do you approach that with the people that are coming in to use your services?
Okay, so I'll start with the definition of recovery, right? So there is a definition to recovery. Recovery is a process of change where an individual improves their health and well-being, lives a self-directed life, and strives to reach their full potential. That is also that's the SAMHSA definition of recovery. We do have a peer support training. I'm a curriculum trainer here at Camino, and our manual, which is A Path to Recovery, or Un Camino a la Recuperación, adopts that same definition, right? And I use this by reminding peers that as long as they're moving in the direction where they're attempting to improve their health and well-being, it doesn't say alcohol, it doesn't say any kind of substance, right? It doesn't say any mental health diagnosis. So in essence, as long as you're practicing the activity, or incorporating, the activities into your life to improve your health and well-being, that is recovery, right? I remind peers too that nobody likes being told. I'm sure you don't like being told. I don't like being told what to do. No one does, right? But recovery is where you're living a self-directed life. That means that you have the opportunity to make the choices and the decisions for your life and in your life, And most of us, by the time we've decided that, hey, I no longer want to live the current lifestyle I'm living, it's because you recognize that you're not really living at your potential, right? There's more to life. So I use this definition to help encourage peers, remind them that any minor changes that they are making in their life is living recovery, right? And that we can work around what your goals are to help you attain that full potential, right? Whatever that may be for you. Because I remind my peers, it's your recovery and it's your life. You know what I mean? We may adopt similar behavior, and you may have totally different activities that you do. I may have different activities, but we're always working on the same thing, which is, again, to improve our health and well-being and striving to reach our full potential.
I love that. Asiya, can you share recovery with your organization at Sassafras and Hueman Kind, and what your definition, if y'all have the same definition, great. I like how David worded that. It had a different feel, because it's almost like, right, recovery is about being better. If we want to be technical about it, we're all going through recovery if it's about being better. So it takes that stigma off of it, like something is wrong with you if you're going through recovery. So Asiya, please share your definition and how you all help individuals at Sassafras.
Absolutely. Recovery refers to the process of overcoming or managing challenges, particularly those related to, mental health, addiction, illness, with the goal of achieving improved well-being, stability, and functioning. It's not just about symptom elimination. It's about personal growth, resilience, and regaining a sense of control and purpose in life. In mental health and addiction recovery, it's often viewed as a journey, not, a destination. And it involves a combination of professional treatment, peer support, personal development, and self-care. Recovery emphasizes that hope, that empowerment, and the ability to live a truly fulfilling life despite the challenges. There are some aspects of recovery, that everyone should also keep in mind. Some of the things that Mr. Daniel already told us regarding RAP, that hope, believing that better is possible, that self-empowerment, actually doing for self, because people help people who help themselves. That connection, knowing that we do all need each other, and that resilience. And what is resilience to me? It's unsolicited strength. Because usually when we think about people being resilient, it's because we have no other choice but to. All of these concepts recovery are individualized. It depends on how you want to do things and what these things mean to you. And what it looks like, recovery, it greatly varies from person to person.
That is very true. And real quick, while we're on this last topic with the recovery, share one life experience that you had. I'm going to call it the aha moment, where you said, I got to make a change. This isn't working, or I need help. I need assistance. Please share one. And Sia, you go ahead. Share that one experience.
Absolutely. November the 13th of 2014, Like I said, I had a late onset of epilepsy, never had a seizure in my life. I was cooking chicken one day, had a seizure and spilled the grease all over myself. Um, in my own personal recovery, having government funded insurance, being a single mom, still being in college, having to work, I was just so frustrated because every doctor's office I seemed to go to just kept telling me, well, you know what? Hey, you're disabled. This is the life that you're going to have to live. You might as well get
Mm,
used to it.
mm.
And I was tired of other people telling me what my life was going to be like. I was in so much pain. I was in so much agony. I had so many habits that were not self-serving. And I was tired of just being tired. So I sat down and I got in tune with myself and I really decided what I wanted my life to look like. And when I realized that I have all of the tools and the ability to create the reality in which I live, that was the light bulb that changed everything. A light came on. And when that light came on and I really saw that I was able to do for myself, I had that self responsibility, that self determination, and that hope. That was the indicator that made me realize recovery is possible. And if other people can do it, I can do it as well.
And what about yourself, David? Because I'm not, when you go through something, I won't say traumatic, life altering, right? How you just said that, Asiya, you knew the date, the time, the year. It's like it's etched in the back of your mind. You probably could tell me what you were wearing. You could probably tell me what was going on outside. You could probably tell me all of that. David, I know you're about to share your experience. What was it for you? And I know you're going to have like a timestamp of when that happened.
For me, I mean, it's definitely right iron stamped into my mind, and it was an event that happened at home. I was living with my older brother at the time. We were both in active use. He's a person. I'm happy to report he is in recovery himself today, and
Awesome.
it's a journey that we've had the opportunity to share together. And we had not been hanging out together that evening, but we had kind of been hanging out each individually. We were in. I was in active use, right, and I had been drinking and using substances that night. And I will say, leading up to there, I had hit a lot of low points in my life, right? But this was really that turning point where I decided that I could no longer live the way that I was living, and I needed to do something. And I remember coming to from a blackout, and I thought I heard a knock at the door. I walked over to the door. It was already cracked open, and one of us had not shut the door appropriately that evening. And I remember when I opened the door, my niece was standing there. She was only about 7 years old at the time. And she was looking for my brother because he was supposed to take her and the little friend out to a street fair that was going on locally. And I remember the look of desperation that she had on her face.
Mhm.
I could say, almost she was just a kid, but that disappointment and worry is more of what it was. And I remember that's something that really struck deep with me at that specific moment, where although I had heard a lot of a lot of suggestions leading up to that point, people constantly reminding me of the low quality of life, I'll phrase it that way, that I was living. It was that moment where it struck so deep that I realized to myself, I'm really causing a lot of hurt and damage to the people around me. This is not a place that I want to be. And I remember kind of having that aha moment, or that light bulb, that moment of clarity, I'll say, where I told myself, I cannot keep living like this. I need to do something, right? Luckily, since, other people had been encouraging me to go get help up to that point, that was the moment where I remember, I had a short conversation with her. She went down to grandma's house. I went back in the house and I looked at myself in the mirror.
Mm.
And I just told myself, David, you can't keep living like this. It's either you do something now, or you're gonna end up, um, in an institution, perhaps dead. And ultimately, though, I had just reached a pinnacle of unhappiness where I said, hey, if I don't change something, it's just gonna get worse. I had the moment of clarity to know, since I was alive, I had the opportunity to do something, and I knew nothing was going to change unless I did it. And that was the moment when I searched out and I went looking for help.
Oh, that is amazing. I mean, just hearing both your stories, and that's why you all are able to impact so many people when they come, because they feel a sense of it. To me, it's always different when someone has gone through it. You know what I mean? When you're helping somebody, when you're going through it. And this word is used a lot. And I want to hear you all's take on it and how you all use it with the work that you are doing. Trauma, that word's been used a lot. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I won't say too much, but it's almost like a hot button. People just start throwing out certain words now that have, in my opinion, some serious things attached to that word. So Asiya, can you talk about trauma-informed care? What is that? How do you all use it? And then David, I'll have you share how that's impacted to it. Camino, can you share, Asiya?
Sure, I definitely can. Trauma informed. We know that this world can be a very scary place. And there are so many of us who've been through so many things. Now, regarding being trauma informed is just the process of understanding that others have their own walks and things may have happened to them. Now, the type of trauma is really not significant or important, but just to be informed, to know, to be sensitive, to be mindful that others have been through some things is the aspect of being trauma informed. Exactly. What is trauma? Trauma is the wounds that we have to heal from things that have happened to us that may have been unfavorable. Trauma can look and manifest in so many different ways. And trauma is also very individualized as well. What may affect one person may not affect another. We have different types of trauma. Vicarious trauma, actually being traumatized by what has happened to someone else. It may not have even happened to you. We have what we call ACEs, adverse childhood events. We have psychological trauma. We have physical trauma. We have physical trauma, sexual traumas. There are so many different types of trauma. But being trauma informed is just having that empathy and that mindfulness to be sensitive to everyone, no matter who they are, what has happened in their life, or what walk of life they're coming from.
And David, can you share how you all approach trauma at Camino?
Yeah, of course. So here at Camino and in my work, we define trauma as an event, a series of events, or a set of circumstances that a person experiences that can be physically or emotionally harmful or life-threatening. And this experience is going to have lasting adverse effects on that person's ability to function, right? To function mentally, physically, social, emotionally, or it could affect their spiritual well-being. At Camino, we recognize that trauma can overwhelm a person's resources to cope. It's going to produce a sense of fear, vulnerability, or maybe helplessness within that person. And we also recognize that a lot of times people who have experienced trauma may adopt unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with these undesirable feelings. Trauma-informed care here at Camino is the approach that we're going to take, where we're going to assume that a person who comes to us looking for help is more than likely has experienced or has a history of trauma in their life. We're going to also recognize the presence of trauma symptoms, and we're going to acknowledge the role that trauma has played in this person's life, right? In order to assist them, though, through trauma-informed care, we're going to incorporate these 6 key principles, which are producing an environment of safety, trustworthiness, transparency, We're going to collaborate with the peer. We're going to focus on empowering them, right? And we're always going to give them the opportunity to make their own choices, right? And finally, being the organization that we're going to take into consideration the cultural, historical, and the gender issues that have affected people or traumatized them in the past.
Well, you guys, again, with the definitions of trauma and how it impacts people, and maybe how it's impacted you all, and why you're doing the work. We're about to wrap it up here, but I'm gonna take it to you, Asiya. Can you share advice, number one, with peer-to-peer support and recovery, and then when I'm saying the advice, what you could give to that parent, friend, or someone who knows that person that might be seeking help? Can you give advice, and then also piggyback on that and share how Sassafras and Hueman Kind can help?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing, as a North Carolina certified peer support specialist and facilitator here in North Carolina, one thing we do not do is give advice, but we do give resources. One thing that I can definitely tell parents, persons going through recovery, maybe the persons who haven't gotten into recovery just quite yet, is one of my own personal sayings. We live in a multi-dimensional universe, multiple timelines, and you can be any version of yourself at any time that you choose. All it takes is a consistent, conscious, deliberate decision to remain consistent in whatever it is you want to do, or whomever you want to be. You have all of the tools to be the person that you want to be right now. In this very moment, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. As long as you have breath in your body, you have the opportunity to do it again, to try again. And it doesn't matter how many times you have to try again. As long as you put forth the effort to do it, it will work. If you do, try it again. Try it again. Try every day. Start over every day if you need to, because you already have everything you need to live the life that you want to live and to be the person that you want to be. How can you reach us? You can reach us on the web at our website, sassafrasteaco.org. You can reach us via phone. If you would like to reach out to me personally, you can always give me a call at 910-262-1247. You also can reach us at Hueman Kind LLC.com as well. We're available via email, phone, or on the web. We have a host of services for you guys to take advantage of. Help us, help you, and through those conduits and those avenues, we can really help the community as well.
Thank you. And David, share with Camino any advice or resources. See, I'm learning. Advice or resources that you can give to those that come to your door needing help. And then how can they reach you, and what programs are you providing for those?
Okay. Well, I'd start with saying I'd like my suggestion to anyone out there who has a loved one that is currently maybe struggling with substance use or mental health. I say continue to be patient with your loved ones. You yourself remain hopeful. Always keep in mind that recovery is possible. Best thing you can do to help someone else is take care of yourself. Practice self-care and wellness activities. That'll allow you the opportunity to also model the behavior. Continue to respectfully encourage anyone in your life that there is help out there if they want it, and they don't have to do it alone. Continue to suggest that there are options in the community whenever they're ready to make a change. And lastly, keep in mind that recovery is an active process. We can all want the best for our loved ones, but recovery is only going to work if the person takes action. They need to be an active participant in their own recovery. To get in contact with us here at Camino, you can call our general number. That's 704-596-5606. You can visit our website, which is camino.org. You can call the peer support number at 704-585-1381. As I mentioned before, here at Camino, we offer the primary care clinic, dental services. We do have counseling, peer support available. We have an on-site food pantry, as well as nutrition support. We also offer a variety of peer trainings. We have the 50-hour course available to become a certified peer specialist in North Carolina. We have these classes in both English and Spanish. We do mental health first aid training in English and Spanish. We also offer RAP certification, level 1 and 2, again, both in English and Spanish. If anyone would like more information on any of these trainings, you can contact us at the peer support number, or you could email me at david@camino.org. And I just want to say thank you again for having us.
Thank you all so much. It was just a joy talking with Asiya from Sassafras Tea Company and Hueman Kind, and also David from Camino. Below you will see also, they gave the contact information, but it will be listed here below. Big thank you, guys. We could not do it without you. You guys are changing lives, and you are impacting the community, especially providing that peer-to-peer support and recovery, which is very, very important. And we could not do it either without Mecklenburg County ABC Board. So really thanks to them for making all of this possible and providing the resources and sharing the resources that is out there in the community in Mecklenburg County for individuals and family members, friends, families to use and take advantage of. Again, I appreciate both of you so much. Together as a community, we can help individuals reclaim their lives. So thank you so much. And again, we'll have the information located below for you to share with the family. Just share the video. Just let them just say, hey, I got something for you to look at. Hey, they'll be sold. You guys are telling everything because you guys are living it. You've lived it, and you're helping people continue to change their lives. So thank you all so much. Thank you.